All in Sports Network. We love sports.
It is Wednesday, July 2nd, right here on your daily fix for all things Texas Longhorns. Just a quick reminder before we get too far into the episode is that we are only doing 4 episodes this week. As we celebrate the 4th of July on Friday, we're giving ourselves the day off, or one less episode that we have to worry about this week. And so, I mean, you should be out celebrating America and not watching us. I'll just be honest with you. We should come second to America's birthday. So that's Jake Jimerson. I'm Tanner Carlson. This is your daily fix for all things Texas Longhorns, presented to you by Rogue Sports Network. And this is All in Horns. Today's episode, we are going to break down officially revenue sharing in the world of college athletics, what this means for college sports. Jake and I, we've had these discussions already, kind of just periodically throughout the sports calendar. It's now made official. It's now been passed. And this is going to have implications. What implications that has, Jake probably has more answers on that than I do. But before we get going, I've got a quick little story to share. So I had to take my my daughter to work with me this week because we don't have childcare this week. And so she was at my job with me, and over the lunch break, I was like, hey, let's go to the playground. Let's get you out of the office, get some energy out, whatever. So when we went to the park, there was a group of kids that had kicked a ball into a tree, and they were trying to use another ball in their shoes to get it down. And it just brought back a memory for me of, like, there was probably once a week me and you or somebody trying to get a ball down from a tree. And it took every urge to just like push it down for me to go over there and grab my shoe off of my foot and throw something up there to try to knock this ball down, because they were struggling. And I was like, I just want to see where the ball is. I just want to see, like, I don't even care about helping. It's not about the kids at this point. It's about bringing back childhood. Like, I could care less about getting these kids their ball back. No, it was more so like, first of all, I wanted to be the one that got it down. That was the best feeling during your childhood, when you grabbed a football and you had the perfect throw to, like, get the basketball out of the tree or whatever. And it was like, yeah, I did that. You guys couldn't do that. I could do that. I kind of wanted that ego boost again. I stayed out of it. I let them have their moment, but it was a moment where I was like, just ignore it. Just walk away. Don't get in the middle of it. They've got it under control. But I had an urge. I had a very big urge to go over there and join along with them. It looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I would have had the same urge, thinking about how many footballs, soccer balls, basketballs, wiffle balls.
Again,
we got stuck in trees.
That's the fun part, though, is like when you get one ball stuck and then you get a second ball stuck. So then you're like, great, now we've got to go get another ball to throw it up there to go knock down the first ball that we were trying to use, knock down. And then you get to like sandals and shoes, and then you've got shoes up in the tree. And so it just becomes it's a train wreck at some point.
Oh, yeah. Anyone who played outside a lot as a kid has experienced that.
Yeah.
And I mean, we had a wiffle ball league we did for a while, I remember. And that was a lot of fun. We had the bases out and everything.
Oh,
and those would get stuck in the trees all the time when you'd hit a home run.
It was a ground rule double if it was still within the rule of play. Yeah. So
made up
the
rules.
Good times. Yeah. Oh yeah. We had all kinds of made up backyard rules, and that's the joys of childhood. But I was like, you've had your childhood. Let them enjoy their moment. But did I want to go over there and knock that thing down and be the one to be like, yeah, I knocked that down, not you, little punk. But I digressed, and I stayed away from it. So
I mean, most of the 10-year-olds were probably more athletic than you, so they probably had a better shot anyways.
Dude, at this point, they were climbing around on the monkey bars and stuff and like standing on top of it. I was like, there's no chance. If I jumped from the monkey bars onto my feet, my knees would buckle.
You would pull something.
Oh, dude, my knees would be in my throat, dude. There is no way I would survive that. That would be a death sentence. Like, some of what these kids were doing on the playground, I was like, they're absolutely not. I'm not capable of doing it anymore.
At the Planet Fitness they have a like a little circuit thing you can do, and down the middle of it, it's this big piece of machinery. There's all types of different weightlifting you can do on the outside of it. In the middle, there's a column, and it's the monkey bars. And I'm like, if there weren't so many people in this gym and I would completely embarrass myself, I would try to go do that because it looks fun. But the people who are working out in that section always look like they should be playing in a professional sport.
Yeah, or they're gymnasts or
And the
something.
men, they're just ripped.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't belong there. I belong over here with my leg press and the treadmill.
It reminds me of Hitch, and you're
right here.
You're Kevin James. You're right here. Yeah. This is you.
No, that is the perfect comparison.
And then you try to do a spin move and you embarrass yourself. But dude, so speaking of monkey bars, I attempted a monkey bar, like no swinging, just start from a standstill, stationary position, and monkey bar all the way across at one of these playgrounds. I made it about halfway before I was like, I'm going to rip my shoulder off. Like, I'm also a lot heavier than I once was. So lifting my body isn't nearly as easy as it once was whenever I was a child. But like, I didn't realize, first of all, how heavy I was. Second of all, how much effort it is to go from one bar to the next and swinging yourself as a full-grown male adult. That's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, when I was in like high school, I'd skip the bars. You would jump them because I was working out constantly.
Well, that and you could go like 3 bars at a time and just jump them, you know. But I could barely get halfway through one set of monkey bars before I was like, this isn't happening. There's no way.
Father time is humbling, even when you're if you're an athlete in high school, college, whatever, then you get out of it and you don't work out for a while. Like I've been getting back in the gym the last month or two, and it's been humbling. Yeah. My legs are the only thing on me that are still strong. My arms, like I went to go get the big dumbbells the first time when I was going to do dumbbell press, and I picked them up and I was like, oh, that's not happening. No. And I went like down like 10 steps to the smaller weights, and I was like, this is humiliating.
Yeah. I'm not on the varsity football team anymore. Like this isn't happening. Yeah. All right, Jake, revenue sharing. Let's get into it.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've talked in the past, so this is just kind of a minor update more than anything. You can look at some of our past episodes. Not much has changed. I think kind of what I predicted and talked about is kind of just more confirmed now, but the revenue sharing does start July 1st. So that is when schools can start distributing money from the revenue sharing. So schools will have that pool. I think it's like 20 million this year that they can distribute between all the sports. And the schools decide how that's distributed. There's not a percentage they have to, like softball gets this much, volleyball gets, no, there's none of that. So that'll be interesting to see how that works. But collectives are still going to exist.
Do you think that information is going to be made public at any point in time?
If they're a public school, yes. If they're a private, like Baylor, I highly doubt Baylor will have to do that. Highly doubt TCU will have to do that because they're private schools.
Yeah.
I imagine the Texases, the Ohio States, the Texas Techs, those schools, they will have to, it'll be available in some form or way through the different financials they have to release. But then you're still going to have collectives. Like Texas One Fund released a statement whenever this stuff was kind of coming out. And, we're just saying like, we still want donations. We're still operating as a 501c3 nonprofit that will take in money, and it will be distributed to players for retention, for bringing in recruits, for bringing in players from the transfer portal. And then those players will be expected to do community service, different events with Texas One Fund in return for those payments. But the NIL collectives are not going away with this House settlement, which was kind of the thing lingering that I was curious to see how exactly it was going to work out. I think that's where I kind of left off on the last one was, let's wait and see till the summer hits, and then we'll know what exactly will happen with these collectives. Well, they're still going to exist. They're just not going to be as integrated with the school. But Texas One Fund will still be very active, and it'll still be just as big of a part in recruiting as it is now, because the 20 million from the school, that's a cap. And that's not really a drop in the bucket in NIL currently. So these collectives and outside businesses, Lamborghini does a lot with Texas and all these different businesses within Austin or within whatever, city a school is in will still be a very, very big piece of NIL. So that means hopefully regulation is going to be the next thing that happens. And that's kind of those next steps that we've talked about in other episodes as well.
No, yeah, I think it'll be interesting for sure. Now, Jake, is the Texas One Fund, is that something that you and I can donate to? Is that like that's a publicly open funding?
Yeah, you can just go on the website. They have merch you can buy. Like I think they have like Yeti tumblers. They have different, Texas One Fund merch you can get. And I believe the money, any profits from that merch probably goes within that collective. Yeah, I'm looking right now. They have like apparel, but if you just go to texasonefund.org, you can donate, you can look at their apparel, and you can, there's different things that you can, they have like a fan box, which I'm imagining is some type of, it's an annual membership where you receive a limited edition box of curated. Imagine it's not cheap to join that.
No,
but you could donate however small you want as well to the Texas One Fund.
Yeah, and so like, hey, every dollar matters, but you're contributing to somebody's NIL deal. So
$200 per season for the Longhorn fan box. That's not as bad as I thought it would be, to be honest.
For an entire season, yeah. I mean, that's
it's an annual subscription. You get a box with collectibles.
$200. I mean, it's not horrible. If you can make payments on that, it makes it even cheaper.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that the Texas One Fund will still very much so be operating, and that was what I was most curious to see. And so I still imagine there's some more regulation on the horizon that's going to come down on NIL at some point, especially the transfer portal.
For sure. All right, Jake, that's going to do it for today's episode. Just wanted to give everybody really just a brief recap. We're going to actually be spitting out a lot shorter episodes for the summertime. I know we had already kind of mentioned that going into the summer. Now that we're in July, these episodes are going to be 10 to 15 minutes long, and that's about all we're going to give you. And so, again, as we approach closer to football season, these episodes will get more and more extensive and more detailed and more ready for football season. Those conversations will ramp up and get more intense, I'm sure. But for the time being, we're going to try to punch these things out for you, get you in and out of here between 10 to 15 minutes. So for Jake Jimerson, I'm Tanner Carlson. This has been your daily fix for all things Texas Longhorns right here on All In Horns. As always, ladies and gentlemen, hook 'em.
All in Sports Network. We love sports.